Hey everybody, good morning. About a week ago, I did a video talking about cantina farms and how I do cantina farms, and that was one that has been sitting in my head for weeks now. It was one of those things. I don't know if you've ever had this experience where like an idea is just in your head and you push it off. Kept thinking, no, this is too obvious. This is too obvious. Everybody must already know this stuff. Every day it kind of bugged me until eventually summer started. I decided to do it. Um, and well, it did a lot better than I ever expected it to do. Um, and I heard in the comments, there were definitely some people who gave the criticism of, again, that this is so obvious. Like, who doesn't do things this way? But the other thing that I learned just from, watching uh, some of the other commenters was that the things that are obvious to me and obvious to you may not be obvious to everybody. Definitely saw a lot of people saying like, "Wow, I never thought of it that way." I'm sharing this video with my guild because it just makes sense. So today we're going to be talking about territory battles, about Rise of the Empire, specific, obviously, and the information I'm going to give is definitely information that could be considered obvious to some. So, if you're a high end player, you might not find the video useful. But I will say that I am in a 640 million PP guild, and there are still people in the guild not doing things this way. So while I think it's obvious, and while I ran down to the computer after 2 weeks of perseverating on the idea to get this done, I I didn't deem it important enough to me to even bother putting on pants, right? So you can be left with that image if you'd like. Um, but we will talk about what I'm going on about and stuttering over right after the intro. Okay, so Rise of the Empire is going on today. It is actually day 4, though the day doesn't actually matter when doing this. And this is something that you can do at every level of Rise of the Empire. It's such a stupid thing. But I'm finding, again, like I said beforehand, is something that so few people do that it actually blows my mind. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation. It hasn't happened to us this rise, but it has happened to us before. I think it even happened to us in the last event, where the day when you should be completed with your platoons, you go over to the platoons. It's at 5 of 6. Your TB officer tags everybody in the guild who has that specific character. Let's just say, I know I have it on dark side right now, but to appease the people who are going to say something like this, let's just say it's Grief Karga. Because we had this issue about a year ago with Grief Karga, and I ended up having to do it. You tag everybody, and 9 out of 10 people go, "Oh, I already deployed mine," and then the 1 out of 10 person goes like, "Oh crap, I used him in a battle. Like, oops, so sorry." And you get kind of annoyed because, that was one of those crap tier platoons that nobody really wants to take to Relic 7. And how can you forget that you have that character? Like, it shouldn't be that freaking hard bobblehead. Um, Especially true when you're talking about characters like Tusken Raider, who only 1 or 2 people are ever going to have. And as of 3 months ago, Cup, but now, I think we have like 45 of them. So this is something that I do, and I started doing about a year ago, and it did take me about 20 minutes to set up, but it has saved me a ton of time, effort, and energy when doing my territory battles. And effectively, what that is just setting up squad tabs. And yes, I said tabs, right? Because we're not talking about the idea of uh, just having like random, like whatever, where you have tons and tons and tons of teams. I literally have a tab for every single day, even if we're doing the same uh, even if we're doing the same planet 2 days in a row. And you'll notice that I name my tabs very specifically. Rise of the Empire, day 1, 1, 1, 1, which stands for Planet 1, Planet 1, Planet 1. So Mustafar, Corellia, and Coruscant. Rise of the Empire, day 2, 2, 2, which stands for, what are they? They are Geonosis, they are Felucia, and they are Braca. I friggin' hate Braca. Um, and then we start getting letters in there. So day 3, 3, 3, Z3 is Dathomir, it's Tatooine, it's Zepho, and Sheik. Okay. And on top of that, we don't need to go through each day, but on top of that, I also name each of the combats for the team, right? So the Lord Vader, DS Lord Vader, that one should be obvious. Nobody should ever have a problem with that. DS Open, right? So this is any of the open combats that any team can go towards. DS Open, Night System, neutral territory, or middle, um, Jabba. Should it be NT? Probably, but I just with the DS and LS, to me it makes sense. Neutral side. I don't. Night Sister Kira, Night Sister Afra, right? So I kind of name each thing going in line, and I have the planets basically associated from left to right. So we go from dark side to middle, all the way down to light side. The same thing here with Zepho. We have dark side, we have middle, we have Zepho, we have light side. Okay? We go through all 6 days this week. Now, the reason I do this isn't just so that I have to not think about what teams I'm using, right? So you're like, oh, well, I could actually throw any characters with Jedi Knight Calcast. You can't, even with Omicrons. But you can be pretty liberal. But the reason that I do this is I make sure that none of the characters that I personally need to do are in the set, right? So I never get caught in a situation where one of my platoonable characters is ever used in combat. Now, I will say that if you are on the lower end of Rise of the Empire, you may need to platoon characters before doing combats. I personally find uh, there are very few planets with my specific battle lineups where I need to wait. And I know what days those are. Let's see. Haven on day 5 for me. I need to wait. That's about it, actually. Ring of Freen, Jar Jar. I don't need to wait. Other combats I do need. And in that instance, if you're not using hot utils to auto set things, you can, of course, also, if you want, maybe add platoon tabs of your platoon characters for each day, the rare ones. You don't need to put like Jedi Master Luke in there or R2 in there. You need to put your mob enforcers and your Tusken Raiders. You don't personally need to do that just because I am able to do my combats right away and platoon everything afterwards, and I have no fear that any character that I am using is part of something that needs to be put in. Now, the other added bonus of this is that I don't have to think at all. When I go into Rise, I don't have to press extra buttons. I don't have to like team comps together, even if they're in your head. It's just a much quicker experience, especially when you know that you're doing things on auto and not paying attention to them. Pop, 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 done. Um, when it comes to ships, I do the same thing, but I do it just slightly differently. See, I only have one Rise of the Empire tab here, because there's really no reason to put two teams in one tab. And I name them to specific to what they do, right? So this top one, um, Dark Side 1 Auto 60p. This is the only one that has something like 60p there. That's just to remind me that this is not a reliable auto. It's about a 60% chance auto. I actually don't even do day one of Rise of the Empire anymore. My guild doesn't need it, so I could delete this, but um, I keep it here just so that when people ask me on streams, like, hey, it's NS1235 auto, right? So I know that this Executor matchup on days one, two, three, or planets one, two, and five of the neutral territory, this will run it on auto just fine. This one's slightly different. I know that on Castle, I need to run this on manual because Castle does not have a fun battle mechanic, right? LS4, so I know on Lothal I can run Radis. Now, there's another added bonus to doing this. And this added bonus isn't going to be something that you're going to make on the low end. But if you're a good guild mate and you're on the high end, this is something that you might want to do. Anytime a new team comes to the game that I'm going to bring up, so the like new Bad Batch, right? Who I currently only have at Relic 5. Anytime I have something like that, I can go through my teams. I can replace one of these of characters that may be required in platoons, right? R2D2, maybe we're hurting in day one of platoon. Mon Mothma, maybe we're hurting in day one of platoon. I can go in, I can replace this team with a team that isn't needed at all for platoon. Okay, I'm constantly looking for teams like that, um, so that I can platoon or put into operations more and more of the characters that other guildmates are going to need. This allows me to do that very simply, very easily. I never forget that I'm going to do it because I can set this pretty much right away. Now, again, like I said earlier, this is information that some of you may find to be very obvious, but even talking to my guild, and I will remind you, we are 640 million. Even talking to my guild in the last couple of days, anytime there are issues and I ask, hey, do you set up platoon, do you set up fleet and squad compositions for each day? It is so very rare that anybody says, they go, oh, I should do that, but no, I don't. And those are the people that struggle or give me that problem, or who I worry about when it comes to operations, and then I am forced to do things like take veteran Chewbacca all the way to Relic 9, though screw you guys, because that paid off for me very quickly, being a GL Hondo Maka requirement like 2 weeks after I ended up doing it. I would have loved if it was an R9 requirement, just to make me feel slightly better with myself. Um, with all that said, if you are somebody that this doesn't help, you're already doing this, you're like, I'm not putting in the effort, the 10 minutes it takes to do this. Great, cool, I understand. The only thing that I want you to maybe consider, like I said in the beginning, is not everybody is in your situation. Not everybody is in my situation. Not everybody thinks, some of us are really great at math, some of us are really great at languages, some of us are awesome writers, some of us are mechanically inclined. Everybody's different, everybody has different strengths and weaknesses, everybody values things different. And just consider that while you may not particularly find this information to be super helpful, that there will be people out there that do find it to be helpful. So I hope truly that the majority of you watching are able to say like, wow, yeah, I'm gonna go start doing that with my. The last recommendation I will make is do it while you're doing your battles, right? So today's day 5, day 4, tomorrow's day 5. As you start to do your day 5 battles, set up your day 5 composition here, and then as you do a battle and win and it works, put it in there. as you do a battle, you win and it works, put it in. And for those that do not know, yes, these tabs you can rename, uh, have to rename and rearrange this portion too. Um, again, with all that said, hope it was helpful. Hope you got some use out of it. Maybe you know somebody that can get some use out of it. Uh, Peace out and have a great day.